I'm pretty sure that there aren't many who've heard about the antics of Popee, Ketamono, and Papi. If this is the case, don't worry, because today we'll tell you everything and a little more about this Japanese animated series not suitable for minors. If you're a fan of the Murky series, subscribe and activate the bell. I promise you will not disappoint you. This series is about Popee, a boy of apparent American origin who at first glance seems very innocent with his adorable bunny-eared hat and red and white striped suit. But you already know that appearances can be deceiving, right? When Popee hangs out with his friends to do tricks, his truly sinister and aggressive personality comes out for a walk when he fails to pull off his tricks. In the Circus of the Wolf, Popee is a clone in training. His father, Papi, trains him and assistant Ketamono, a quiet wolf victim constantly of Popee's torments. Their greatest goal is to achieve fame in order to become the most famous circus in Japan. We, the spectators, are part of that training. Although this show first appeared in 2001 on the Japanese children's network Kids Station, its nature isn't entirely for minors, since no parent would want Popee's personality to be an example for their children. He is moody, jealous, and capricious. It's also common to see him do some crazy things throughout the program. For example, in the episode Swallower, Popee tries to do a trick by swallowing a sword and spitting it at a target. However, when he opens his mouth to catch the sword, it goes right through his entire body. Ketamono then tries to pull the sword out of him and misses, but it occurs to him to tie Popee to some stakes and pull the tied sword from his car. Once he begins to accelerate, the ropes break and Popee tied to the car begins to hit the walls. As Ketamono loses control of the car, causes serious injuries to Popee. When Ketamono finally takes control of the car, he realizes that Mr. Toad is in the middle of the road, and to avoid hitting him, he collides with a wall and the car is thrown out with Popee, still tied by the sword, causing an explosion. Very angry Popee, with the sword already out and full of blood, sees that Ketamono survived and is laughing at him. So he decides to eat Ketamono as a form of revenge. He resists and tries to come out of its mouth. To finish him off, Popee takes the sword and puts it through his mouth again to kill Ketamono that is inside him. The episode ends with Popee in the middle of the circus, pierced by the sword, bleeding to death. An episode for children, right? Well, the fact is that the endless bloody adventures of Popee do not seem to end on the Kids Station's channel. Well, the gloomy character has come to the internet with a lost episode, about which little is known. It's called The Trapper Keeper. According to a fan of the series, one day she was looking for old tapes in a secondhand store. She loved buying old videos and then watching them back home. That day, she realized that among the boxes she was looking through, there was one that caught her attention. It was Popee's, one of her favorite series. However, this wasn't a common tape. There was something strange about it, because on the white cover it had Popee the Performer written in black marker, and the characters were drawn by hand without expressions, and only had 2 large black holes for eyes, which made her remember that DVD of Max and Ruby 4000. She, full of curiosity, decided to buy the tape. Once she got home, she ran to put it on the video player to see what this mysterious episode was about. At first, the video started directly with the introduction. So far, everything was fine. But then, instead of the moon that always rises at the end of the intro, a pentagram would appear, and Ketamono had a devilish smile on his face as he grabbed a knife. It looked like he was going to stab Popee, but before that happened, the screen went black. The frightened girl felt the need to surround herself with her own arms to calm herself, because she could not believe what she had seen. She knew Popee's intro too well, but this one was terrifying. But what she didn't know was that this was only the beginning. Then the title Trapper Keeper appeared in front of the screen. Popee arrived with a folder in his hands. The other two, Papi and Ketamono, looked confused. Popee then showed them what looked like some kind of trick by putting papers in the folder. But one of these papers had the number 666 on it. Ketamono and Papi were amazed, so they tried to put more things in the folder. They began to put tissues, boxes, trumpets, bombs, and even a tree in the folder. At the moment when it seemed like they couldn't put anything else on the binder anymore, the episode took a terrifying turn. Well, suddenly the folder was transformed into an evil spirit. He had black eyes and red pupils. Seeing him, the girl let out a scream. The Trapper Keeper, or the evil spirit, had only one purpose: to catch everything that got in its way. As the sky turned blood-red Popee, Ketamono and Papi tried their best to flee, but their attempts were unsuccessful. The Trapper Keeper began firing a laser from his eyes, disintegrating the characters immediately. The only sounds that were heard were the hyper-realistic human screaming sounds. What the hell had she just seen? She only knew that the previous scenes had made her want to throw up, but what was coming was going to turn her stomach completely. Well, then the trapper keeper was with his eyes black and pupils red, full of blood. The sky was completely red. Inside it, from the strange folder, Popee, Ketamono, and Papi were peeping through full of blood. Demonic smiles and black eyes with red pupils just like the trapper keeper. It was terrifying, and its disgusting appearance made the girl suddenly eject the tape from the VCR and run off with it. Once out of the house, she took the tape and threw it on the ground to smash it. Then she collected the pieces that were left and went to her back patio to throw them in a bonfire that she quickly made. When she threw the pieces in the fire, she stood in front of them and watched them burn and said, "I'll never see you again, Popee." She turned around and began to walk back inside, but on the way she found the corpse of an exploded toad. Disgusted, she looked at him and realized that his eyes were popping out of the black sockets and red pupils. She couldn't believe what she was seeing, as this wasn't just any toad, but Mr. Toad, one of Poppy's characters. On his body was carved, "Will take revenge." Did you know the story of Poppy the performer? Would you dare to watch the lost episode in the middle of the night? Leave us your answer in the comments. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so. Until the next video.